Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Don, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
Cougar fans? Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, bringing you this edition of Coaches Weekly. And once again, I'm joined by head coach of CUC Women's Soccer, Coach Garza. Welcome back to the show. Excited to talk to you today.
Excited to be here.
All right, well, Coach, since the last time we talked, you guys have played in 2 games. Let's first go back to Saturday. It was a 2-1 loss at WLC. Alani Bernal had a very good game, though, 17 saves. It's almost impossible to imagine that many saves. That was a career high for her. But it was your second straight 1-goal loss, unfortunately. So I guess let's start there. You know, after a couple of close losses like that, what does your team need to do? What were you telling your team to do to kind of get them over that hump? So next time they are in a close game like that, a 1-goal game, or even that 0-0 tie we saw against Lake Forest, what does your team need to do to execute in order to pull off those close wins?
Yeah, I mean, stay consistent, trust the process, continue to follow through, not put our heads down. I mean, it's conference play. As those 2 losses were decided by 1. Mm-hmm. We had good moments in the game, and again, right now the ball's just not bouncing in our favor. Mm-hmm. But you know, if we put our heads down and don't control the things that we're capable of doing, you know, the results are going to continue. Overall, We're 2-3 in conference, so you know, just below 500. But I mean, we have 8 games to play, so the goal is to, you know, focus on what we have in front of us, and you know, and take away the positives and the things we need to improve on from the past and continue forward.
Right, and scoring the goal in that WLC game was Jamie Siebert. She's having a very nice season offensively, tied for the team lead in goals with Juliana Paulson. But what is it that she does that makes her such a good offensive player? Obviously, she's got speed, she's got good placement, but in your eyes as head coach, what does Siebert do that puts her in those positions to get goals and just to be an offensive threat?
Yeah, more and more I'm seeing Jamie's believing in herself and has confidence. She's persistent in the attack, that which is why, you know, more often than not I'm choosing her in the starting 11. She's very coachable and understands the game plan, and you know, she's a big facilitator of our, you know, the opportunities we do create, and you know, I encourage her to, like, you know, just, you know, the more that she stays at it, the more that she's going to create. And it showed against that, the good goal that she scored against Wisconsin Luther.
Right. And then last night you guys were in action at IIT, dropped that one 3-0. And like you said, you're 2-3 in conference play now. So what are some of the improvements you're hoping to see from this team as you go forward in conference play? What does this team kind of need to do to kind of get back to 500 in conference play and then hopefully exceed 500 and start winning a couple more games?
Yeah, the team really proved yesterday that they can play with the best. IIT right now is in the top of the conference.
Very good team.
We came in with a game plan and strategy, adjusted our tactics. The team executed. Okay. And we were very unfortunate that the goal that we gave up was 75 minutes in off of penalty kick. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it moments like that kills some of the momentum, but that's just a game of soccer, you know, with luck and chance at times. But even their coach shared a lot of positive feedback on the team, because, you know, coming in, he probably underestimated us a little bit, but we also did create a few opportunities against the top team. So we're leaving that game with a lot of you know, confidence and momentum that we want to carry into Sunday's game.
Right. And then last week we talked about kind of your strategy when you go on the road for a couple games in a row. And now I kind of want to ask the inverse, because 5 of your next 6 games are here at CUC. So hopefully you guys are able to get some home cooking going. But I mean, what is that like, you know, being able to play at home during an important stretch of play too? I mean, we're in the heart of conference play now, knowing that most of those games are going to come at home over the next 6 games.
Yeah, we with planning, you know, not having to travel, every team that plays at home has some advantage, so we have to take advantage of it. We're also 2-0 at home, so we want to continue that record, so we have that to motivate us and continue fighting for us. But overall, you know, with our home crowd, you know, even this weekend being homecoming, I think it's a good opportunity for us to really, you know, get us back to 500 and continue our, you know, and stay perfect at home for conference play.
Definitely. Well, the next game for CUC women's soccer is this Sunday at 1 p.m. when they welcome St. Norbert College to River Forest. Coverage for that game can be found on our website, cucougars.com, and the live stream on our YouTube page, CUC Sports. Coach Garza, thanks again for joining me today, and good luck in the next couple of games. Look forward to talking to you again same time next week. But until then, this is Peter Borkowski signing off of the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always, go
What's going on, Cougar fans, and welcome to Concordia Stadium for today's conference matchup between the Sabres of Marian University and the Cougars of Concordia University Chicago. I'm Parker Kelly, joined up in the booth by Rafael Gonzalez. For those of you who don't know, today's contest is in partnership with the nonprofit organization Helinski's Hope, which honors the life of former Washington State University quarterback Tyler Helinski, who died by suicide back in 2018. The Helinski's Hope Foundation focuses on prioritizing mental health awareness within college athletics in hope of creating a world where mental health is supported in parity with physical health as well. For more information on Helinski's Hope Foundation and the story of Tyler Helinski's life, visit helinskishope.org. Well, after the playing of our national anthem, let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Sabres, they are coached by second-year man Chris Gaskin, assistant coach Kinsey Gomez in his second season with Marian University. He has a compiled record of 2-10-7 over the past two seasons as well. Now let's go ahead and look at the Cougars starting lineup. A little bit of new faces in there today, but the Cougars are coached in his second season by Eddie Garza. Assistant coaches Shelby Sims, Allison Snowden, and Ben Krutz. Now, Roth, the Sabres are coming into River Forest today, sitting at 5th in the conference. They got a big win at Rockford University on Saturday. They won that game 2-0. And now the Cougars, who have dropped their last 4 games, kind of been struggling in this portion of the season. What are they going to have to do to get the win today?
In order for them to win today against a really good Marian team, they're going to have to play a full, complete 90 minutes, which is what they almost did in their last picture against St. Norbert. They played really well against them, very tight up close throughout the entire game. They continued to lay in the going, which fortunately sealed a 1-0 defeat for them, but if they continue to play the way they did against the Green Knights last time out, they have a chance here against a really good Sabres squad.
As we are underway in River Forest, opening kickoff conducted by Megan Wilkinson McQuaid, who's getting the start today, the senior out of Georgetown, Kentucky. As we get a throw in from the Cougars. Cougars already in excellent field position as they try to capitalize on an early opportunity. The Cougars in their home all whites, while the Sabres looks like they're in their all grays. As the ball trickles out of bounds, looks like the Sabres will take over possession for the first time today. The Cougars be on defense. They've been a pretty solid defensive team all year, especially considering their goalie situation. As we saw in the pregame, Brooke Sheriff gets the start in goal today for the Cougars, the sophomore out of Simi Valley, California. The Cougars as a whole rank second in the NAC in saves with 96. So got pretty solid goalie play all season long from Sheriff and Alani Burnell.
Yeah, so far, Sheriff this year, this is her 6th appearance on the season. She's played a total of 315 minutes coming into today and has only conceded 1 goal so far. Her last appearance as a starting goalkeeper was against Lake Forest back last month, September the 17th, where she conceded not a single goal while also making 9 saves, including some of them are really tremendous in the scoreless draw.
And now that's Lillian Hadon, who was streaking down the field for the Sabres, and Sheriff is going to get her first touch of the afternoon. She prepares to boot this one down the field. Nice header right there from Wilkinson McQuaid. Now goes into the foot of, looks like Lucia, or no, it's not Lucia Falone, as that's kicked by Kenworthy. The Cougars trying to go down the length of the pitch as Falone now gets her first touch of the afternoon. She's heading down the far side. Tries to get that one, looks like to Allie Brown, just a little out of reach. Now the Sabres going to go back on offense.
This is the Sabres team that coming into the day, they have 3 goal scorers who have all scored at least 4 goals so far this season, including the freshman number 8, Emily Gordillo, on the team. So they have several capable scorers that can score on the Sabres squad.
Sabres have 3 players on the roster who all are tied for the team high 4 goals apiece. So pretty good offensive squad, hence they're standing in the NAC. We mentioned they're sitting at 5th in the conference right now with a record of 5-3-3. Actually have an away record of 4-2-2 as well. So this is a team who has played pretty solid on the road. So the Cougars have a pretty tough challenge in front of them today.
Not only that, you look at their conference road record in particular, they have 3 wins with only 1 loss. So they've been playing really well away from home in conference.
Really important to get those conference wins. We talk about that all the time. Marian has done an excellent job of that throughout the season, as Denise Carr tries to get it in there to number 20, Quetzali Artiega Vasquez.
That was a really nice pass right there from Carr to Georgopoulos, I believe.
That was Georgopoulos.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Georgopoulos right there just took a touch right there too long, almost a second more. Had she had a chance right there, she would have had a great shot on net.
Got my numbers confused for a second. That 8 looked like a 0 from up here in the booth. As now Marian tries to get out of their own territory. Header right there from Wilkinson McQuaid. And the Sabres in pretty good field position as they're trying to make their way into the final third. Good defensive play right there by McQuaid. Sabres not having too tough of a time really moving the ball. Cougars trying to make life difficult for Marian.
They've been doing a good job getting to the midfield. However, once they enter to the final third, the Cougars defense right there just does a tremendous job at stopping them at the point of attack.
Nice play right there from Brown, this year's team captain. She's been a captain for the past couple of seasons, so really good leader for this Cougars team. The senior out of St. Louis, Missouri. As we'll get the throw in right here from Gladowski. She'll get it into Carr. And now Carr tries to make something happen. Good defensive play by number 39, Trinity Grimes, of the Sabres. And it looks like we're going to get set up for our first corner kick of the afternoon as Brown and Falone both head over to the top right corner of the field. Falone will get it to Brown. Now the Cougars with an opportunity, and that's squandered by that Sabres defense. Header right there from Diaz. And Rob, if you're the Cougars, what's your approach right here as you've now been in the final third a couple times here early?
So the key to what they've done really well so far is that they've been playing really well on the near side of the pitch where Denise Carter, number 16, has been playing so far. They've been able to get a couple things going, build up on the play. They've come close so far. I expect them to continue playing down her side of the pitch.
And now that shot from Falone is saved by goalie Jasmine Barrios. So the first save by her today. Barrios making her second appearance this season. Prior to today, has had one save, so she gets save number 2 on the season for her. Senior out of El Paso, Texas. Now we're set up for some more Sabres offense. Another nice defensive play by Brown. As the Cougars having no problem getting down to the field. That ball rolls out of bounds towards the Sabres sideline.
You saw the work right there of Allie Brown right there, one of the key cornerstones of this team right here in the midfield. Expect her throughout the entire game to play really defensive as a midfield, also be attacking midfielder in certain situations throughout the game.
And despite her stature, Brown is one of the toughest players on this team. Really is not afraid to stick her nose in there and play some aggressive soccer. We've seen that throughout her 4 years here in River Forest. As the Sabres are going to get back to work, they're going to send it to Barrios. And now the Sabres trying to advance down the pitch. Good play right there from Hannah Bowers, another senior. We see that this Cougars team is filled with seniors all over the place, so very experienced team as they look to get win number 3 on the season, and it would be a big one.
It would be a big one indeed. We mentioned it earlier. They've been kind of a bit of a slump as of late against several conference opponents, but today here would be a critical win for them here in conference to remain any shot at making it to the tournament.
And now Barrios is going to come out of goal, going to roll it to her teammate. That one, try to get it to Hedon, but Gladowski comes up with the defensive play. That pass deflected off of the shin of Grimes. And now Falone tries to handle it. Trying to dribble in and out of Sabre defenders. Knocks over a Sabre while she's at it, and another save from Barrios.
So far here, we've only played a couple minutes into this first half, but this Cougars team looks really well against the Sabres team that coming in had a lot of momentum beforehand, but up to this point, the Cougars have done a tremendous job, building up attacks.
Looking like they're trying to get some different looks, trying to get a little creative. The Cougars are early on offense. It's been a pretty balanced approach so far. Both teams getting some time on offense. As Sheriff getting another touch for the Cougars. Lets her team get set up offensively before she boots it deep into the midfield. And now Carr trying to get to it, but the Sabres going to get the ball right back as Hedone gets it in the middle of the pitch to Emily Gordillo.
So right there, what happened right there, Gordillo, there was a little bit of space for her between the next player for the Cougars right there to mark her right there. There's some things you do not want the Cougars to allow Gordillo to walk wide open in the middle of the pitch right there and be able to throw him right there, almost as an attacking midfielder.
Now a goal kick from Sheriff. It's going to go out of bounds, so that Sabres are going to go back on offense as we'll get a throw in from Ashley York. The Sabres trying to get some new offensive looks as well. Both teams have one shot apiece here in the early going of the first half. None of those shots have been on goal. So neither goalie really having to do a whole lot of work here early. As Brown not able to intercept the pass. And now Kenworthy is trying to get to it as well. And the Sabres trying to get some offense going. Sheriff takes a tumble. Whistles blow. Cougars are going to go back on offense.
Collision right there between Sheriff and number 11, Lilian Giron right there from Marian. Contact right there. Sheriff gets back up to her feet and goal kick right here.
As the goal kick from Sheriff. Izzy Fairless trying to get to it on the far side of the pitch. Sabres really taking their time, not looking to get anything going in a hurry. And now Falone trying to get down the field, tries to get that pass. It either looked like it was intended for Brown or Fairless, but it rolls out of bounds just past the Cougar bench. Now a throw in from the Sabres.
You mentioned, Parker, how the Sabres, how they're able to roam all the way from their own defensive third to the midfield. But once again, to the final third, they just stop right there. They have no momentum to get any shots on net right there. And the Cougars are basically saying, hey, we will give you all this space to roam around the pitch. However, once again, to the final third, we will not allow you any good quality shots. And so far, they have accomplished that.
You've seen the Cougars have been a pretty good defensive team this season, pretty solid. Roth, what are you seeing from the Cougars defensively at this stage in the match?
They're doing a really good job, marking these attackers for Marian, which, beginning in the broadcast, I mentioned how they have several players who at any moment can't score for them. And so far, they've done a really good job at stopping them and limiting their opportunities.
They have definitely limited the opportunities of Marian. Like we mentioned, only one shot so far. I know it is early. This Marian team used to getting a little bit more shots than usual. They've attempted 64 shots in first halves this year, which ranks in the middle of the conference at 7th.
It's a team that also has scored, a little less than 2 goals a game at 1.7 goals per game. So this is a team that, is often on the score sheet.
Now a throw in from Marian. I believe that is Trinity Grimes who will do the honors. She tries to get it into Hedone. And now Emily Gordillo will advance the ball for the Sabres. She'll get it to Abby Larson, the junior out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Once again, that ball will roll onto the track. And Ashley York is set up for yet another throw-in. She tries to get it into Larson. Nice header from Wilkinson McQuaid. Now Sabres with a deep shot Good save from Sheriff.
Nice positioning by her right there. Just one bounce on a shot right there. Not much of a challenge for her.
That ball basically bounced right into her hands. Couple whistles blown. We'll halt play for a second, but Cougars will stay on offense as we'll get free kick right here from number 17, Melika Kenworthy, the junior out of New Lenox, Illinois. She gets it into Carr. Carr with a defender on her back. That was Grimes. Now Marian played pretty stingy defense, made things a little bit difficult on CUC up to this point. And now the Sabres with a bunch of green grass ahead of them. That's 15, Bailey Alvarado. Tries to get it to Larson. Marian not afraid to get those deep shots. They're not really intimidated by this Cougars defense, as we'll get a couple of substitutions for the team.
What Marian trying to do right now is they're trying to work the ball into the box, and the only way they've been able to achieve that so far is by crossing it in on the far side of the pitch, which so far has been well read by the Cougars' backline defense.
Cougars defense doing an excellent job of that for sure. As now the Cougars trying to get off to the races. Brown tries to get it to Carr. As the substitutions for the Cougars, number 12, Valeria Fernandez, the junior out of Burbank, Illinois, will enter the game, as well as number 19, Luciana Moran Cruz, freshman out of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. So a couple fresh sets of legs for CUC. First time we've seen substitutions by Eddie Garza. As Kenworthy tries to get it to Diaz on the far side. She'll send it right back to Kenworthy. And now Bowers is able to corral it. Looks for an outlet, tries to get it to Carr, but instead just sends it out of bounds. So now we're going to get a throw in from number 25, Bella Goodson. And we've seen Marian start to get just a little bit more aggressive on offense. If you're the Cougars defense, what are you going to do to stop that?
Honestly, it would be keep implementing what they've done so far, which is allow them to roam free across the middle, the players for the Sabres, and just make them work the ball into the middle, and particularly in the box. So far, what they've done is they've forced them to play out wide, which is going to force them to have to cross the ball into the box, which is now what Marian wants to do ideally. They want to play through the middle and find those good chances inside the box. So for the key for the Cougars right now is to continue playing the same way they have up to this point.
Seeing a shot or two come from the corner, as nice deflection right there by Sheriff. I believe she got a hand on it off the shot attempt from the Sabres. So that's now the third shot attempted by Marian so far. Really nice job by Sheriff, really laying out for that one. It looks like she might have deflected it with her left hand.
I'm going to say the shot right there just missed a little bit, but that right there, what we just saw, is the type of buildup that Marian wants to do in the middle of the field, which is what the Cougars have to avoid allowing them the ability to do so.
And now Marian right back in the final third. Another shot and saved by Sheriff. That last shot was in a similar spot to the previous one we just saw, and Sheriff comes up with both of the saves.
The last two shots right there from number 9, Jacqueline Campos, a junior from California, and that time a really nice effort there by Sheriff making the stop.
This is Sheriff's 6th appearance on the season. She has allowed 1 goal prior to today, made 20 saves, and a 1-loss tie record of 1-0-1. Some pretty solid work this season by the sophomore, as we'll get another goal kick.
And not only that, coming into the day, for the past plus 135 minutes, she had not conceded a goal, and so far that number continues to go up.
So pretty solid stats from her for sure. As the Cougars try to get that one to Denise Carr, she's able to handle it now. She just tries to get past Grimes. Grimes has made a couple good defensive plays for the Sabres. Now Falone tries to get it to Carr once again. Sabres playing pretty solid defense on the back line. And now Marian Cruz is not able to handle it. And now Marian back on offense as Goodson has a lot of green turf in front of her on the near sideline, moving right to left. Glodowski not able to get a stop. Now she's standing in the corner. Now Marian will flush it back out before it goes out of bounds. Good defensive stop right there from the Cougars as we get the throw in from Glodowski. Couple whistles blown. Looks like the Cougars will remain on offense.
So far, this is the second straight game in a row we've seen Coach Eddie Garza and this Cougar squad, do a really good job overall of hanging in there against these tough teams. We saw it against St. Norbert, and now we're seeing it today against Marian. They're holding their own so far.
Looks like the last call was a handball against Marian, so free kick awarded to the Cougars, and Kenworthy usually conducts the free kicks for CUC. As Marian now streaking down the field. Nice defensive play by Brown. Boy, has she been good on defense this season. Really tough player. Making life difficult for Marian here on the road. As we will get a throw in from Jalissa Diaz, who got the start today. She got the start in place of Valeria Fernandez, who entered into the game not too long ago. And now Carr with the shot attempt. Nice save from Barrios.
It's a really nice shot right there from Carr on the right foot right there. Stumbled just a little bit right there at the end of her shot, but a really good, accurate shot and a save right there from Barrios in the Cougars' corner.
It was a nice shot selection, but as you mentioned, did kind of stumble a little bit, so kind of threw off the shot, made the save a little bit easier on Barrios, who got her third save right there here in the first half. We'll get a corner kick from Wilkinson McQuaid. Marian will get the stop. They'll flush it out. Kenworthy handles it for the Cougars as she gets it to Glodowski. Glodowski once again tries to get it to Carr. It is intercepted by Bailey Alvarado. And now Diaz, that deflects off of a Sabre. And now Jacqueline Campos. Nice defense from Falone, who gets it right back to Diaz. Falone analyzing the situation. Tries to get it to Marian Cruz, who's standing directly in front of the Cougars bench. A lot of the Cougars wearing pink on the sideline in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now Wilkinson McQuaid tries to squeak it in there to Carr. For a second, Barrios came out of goal, so it looked like a golden opportunity for the Cougars. And ball going to roll out of bounds.
Carr right there might have had an opportunity right there. We mentioned it. Barrios moved out of her net right there. It looked like from here there would have been a golden opportunity to shoot at an empty net. However, Carr's body was turned behind her, so she had to make the pass out wide, and it results in a corner.
Now another corner kick from the Cougars. I believe this is the fourth one of the afternoon. And only one Cougar will be over there in the corner to kick off, and that is Wilkinson McQuaid. Is that ball going to roll just past the left side of the net? And we'll get a goal kick from Jasmine Barrios.
We talked about it earlier. This Marian team looked like they were starting to gain control of this game. At one point, they had 5 shots when the Cougars only have 1. But since then, the Cougars now have 4 shots and 3 of them on target. They're starting to produce really good attacks here lately.
And we'll get another substitution for the Cougars as number 7, Jamie Cyber, enters the game for Julissa Diaz. First time we've seen her this afternoon. Seibert, one of the better offensive players on this team. She scored 2 goals in 12 games, has an assist. She is the leading shot taker on this team with 16 shots, 13 of which have been shots on goal. So Cougars rely heavily upon her in terms of offensive production. Sabres trying to make something happen. That is a shot attempt by number 25, Bella Goodson. It hits right off of the crossbar. And, Roth, you've mentioned it a couple times. Crossbar is a goalie's best friend.
It is, and just like that, we saw once more right there. This time a long shot from distance, though. It looked like at no moment was the shot even going to be on target. Yet as the end of the shot happened, it almost went into a near moment right there for the Cougars to take their breath.
And now another substitution by Eddie Garza as number 21, Juliana Paulson, coming into the match in place of Denise Carr. Paulson, another senior out of Villa Park, Illinois. She's going to get the ball. A lot of green grass in front of her. That is deflected off of Allison Schnell. Looked like she was going to get an opportunity to potentially get a shot off on her first touch of the game. And that's Sabres' backline defense. Really, their defense in general has just made things kind of tough here in River Forest for the Cougars.
Cougars had a 2-on-1 counterattack right there with Paulson right there, number 19 for the Cougars. In Luciana Moran Cruz right there, but a really great job right there by Chanel, taking the ball away from Paulson. She was trying to pass it right there to Cruz when it was going to be only her and Barrios separating herself from the goal. But a nice, tremendous effort right there defensively.
As Sabres working with it in the middle third, trying to get into that final third. Nice defense from Wilkinson McQuaid, who knocked over a Sabre while she's at it. She kicks it out back to Schnell. Nice clear out from Bowers. As that's handled by Goodson. Now kicked right back to Sophia Romo, freshman out of San Jose, California. Another nice defensive play from the Cougars. Wilkinson McQuaid once again. And a throw in from the Cougars, going to go right back out of bounds. I think that was intended for Siebert. So we'll get another throw in. And now Paulson handling it. She tries to get it to Siebert. Siebert trying to track it down, not able to before it rolls out of bounds. towards the scoreboard. Now, looks like we're going to get a roll in from the goalie Barrios, or excuse me, we're going to get a free kick, as it was an offsides penalty on the Cougars. First time offsides has been called this afternoon. And now Siebert trying to get it to Paulson. Ron Cruz trying to chase it down. It's just kicked out of bounds by Marian. Get a throw in. Actually looks like it'll be a corner kick from Glodowski. Another substitution for the Cougars, as looks like number 4, Addison Alexander, coming in for Lucia Falone. Ralph, we've seen a lot of substitutions made by Coach Garza at this stage in the match.
So far, which speaks a lot to how confident he feels about his players, today and the way they've been playing. And I think one thing that's been very interesting so far is just the way they've been attacking this Marian team, because we've seen throughout the season that the Cougars on attack have had moments, throughout the game. They've never been able to completely have one consistent game of attack. So far today, we've seen a couple of really good attacks. Earlier, we saw it from Denise Carr when she was often involved in the build-up of play. And now with Coach Garza bringing in both Siebert and Paulson at the same time on the pitch, who have been the two best players on the team this year in terms of goal scoring, we're seeing them continue to be able to, maneuver the ball and create goal-scoring chances.
And the Cougars have a considerable amount of depth. Don't know if we've seen this many substitutions in a half this year by the Cougars, but Coach Garza showing a lot of trust in his bench. Now Marian back at work on offense as Goodson tries to get it over across the field to Gulig. Now Gulig working with Wilkinson McQuaid on her back. She'll get it over to Larson. Cougars trying to get a defensive stop right here. A shot attempt from Marian is right over the outstretched arms of Sheriff, and Marian gets on the board first. That first goal coming at the 11:22 mark. They're going to award the goal to Emily Gordillo as it hits the top right goal off of her left foot. That is Gordillo's 5th goal of the season, which is a team high.
Superb finish by her right there, the freshman, shooting it right there on her left foot from a tight angle in the near post. And Sheriff right there is unfortunately able to track it down 1 second too late, and Marian up 1-0.
And it was excellent shot placement from Gordillo. Not a lot that Sheriff could have done about that, as it just hits that top right corner of the goal over the outstretched arms of Sheriff.
I don't think anyone was really expecting, Gordillo to take the shot. I don't think even herself she thought at any point when she took a shot was going to go in. It's just a matter of luck.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and it definitely was a deep shot from Gordillo, but the Sabres find themselves up 1-0 here in the first half as CUC tries to get a response. Not able to capitalize, so Sabres going to go back on offense. We'll get a couple of substitutions now from Marian, as Rosa Lazat coming in for Ashley York, and now Braylee Navis coming in for Jacqueline Campos. So now Coach Chris Gaskin making a couple of substitution as well. Sabres working in the middle third as Paulson comes up to play defense. Now a deep pass by Marian. Another shot attempt. Good save right there from Sheriff as she deflects it with both hands. However, Sabres still on offense. Cougars trying to get a clear out. Brown will go ahead and send that one out of bounds, so possession will stay with Marian. But a nice job by the senior just clearing it out. And now a shot attempt from Larson and goes right over the goal.
Now, Parker, we're starting to see Marian doing what they wanted to do early on in this game, which is play right through the middle of the pitch right there and have really good goal-scoring opportunities near close. They're starting to do that right now, and Cougars, it's critical for them to readjust the way how this Marian team has been playing offensively and readjust defensively.
So now some more substitutions for the Cougars. Number 11, Itzel Calderon, another senior out of Oaklawn, Illinois, enters the game, as well as Pamela Saldivar in for Megan Wilkinson McQuaid. So many substitutions made by Coach Garza up to this point, as we're well under 10 minutes here in the first half, about 8:10 remaining on the scoreboard. Now Fernandez just sends that one out of bounds towards the scorer's table. So a throw in will be the result. Marian trying to get it in. Gets it into Isabella Sanchez. Paulson trying to play tough defense. Now a substitution from Maryland, as well as Taylor Pearl makes an appearance. She'll relieve Abby Larson. So both teams making several substitutions here in the first half, trying to get everybody a little PT.
In addition to that, just to give some of their stars, a little bit of a break right here, we're only a couple minutes away from halftime as well to get them all rested and all fitted up for the second half.
Now a goal kick from Sheriff. Sheriff tries to get it into a couple of her teammates who were in the area. Now Fernandez tries to get it over to Paulson, who's trying to track it down. Last touched by a Sabre as it goes out of bounds, so Cougars are going to stay on offense. A throw in from Fernandez, tries to find Paulson again. Not able to get it there as the Sabres intercept the pass, and now working down the length of the pitch again. Kenworthy trying to play tough defense. Sheriff going to come out of goal to get the stop. Conditions here in River Forest, partly cloudy, a little cool outside, so perfect temperature for some soccer. Not exactly the best conditions, however, with the cloudiness, but we are still here playing some soccer. We got a tight conference matchup between the Sabres and the Cougars. As Fernandez tries to get the stop, Sabres just able to get right past her, working down the far sideline. Brown takes a tumble, as well as Gielig. That one's just going to be sent out of bounds towards the visitors' dugout over by the baseball field. So a throw in from Marian. Working in the middle third. Marian in that final third. Cougars relying heavily on their backline defense. Marian being very patient. Deep shot right there from the Sabres goes right over the goal. That was number 22, Sophia Romo. Took that shot from about the 25-yard line, so another deep shot from Marian.
We're starting to see them really now just have shots from beyond distance right now, and it's in part because of how the Cougars have been playing them here in the opening half. Very defensively, very stingy so far.
And now we see that shot total for Marian now in double figures. They have 11 shots. 5 shots have been on target. Meanwhile, the Cougars sitting at 4 shots with 3 of them being shots on goal. So Marian now starting to pick it up on offense. Forgot to mention we have another substitution for Marian as Kate Mayfield will enter the match in place of Brianna Gielig. Nice play defensively from Gladowski as Brown tries to get it to Seibert. And now Seibert tries to get it to Paulson. But Barrios going to come out of goal and get the stop. Get Marian back rolling on offense.
Well, the one woman for the Sabres who's done really well defensively has been number 30, Allison Chanel. She's been often the one who's been able to stop these Cougar attacks on the buildup, which has kept this Cougars team as of late and not having many shots on goal.
Now that one deflects off the chest of, that was Taylor Pearl. Off the kick from Bowers. Now Marian trying to work over on the far sideline. It's tripped up. Last touched by the Sabres. So Cougars now back on offense. I believe we will get a throw in from Kenworthy. No, excuse me. That'll be, I believe, Fernandez. So now we are under the 2-minute mark here in the first half play. Marian with the 1-0 lead over the Cougars. As Itzel Calderon takes a tough fall. She's back on her feet. Now a free kick by Kenworthy. It's time winding down here in the first half. That ball going to roll towards the Sabre bench. Last touched by the Cougars, so Marian's going to get another crack on offense. Good play by Gladowski, who gets it to Seibert. Now tries to get that one to Paulson. Just not able to capitalize. So Marian is going to take the ball right back, advancing down the field rather quickly. That shot goes right into the hands of Sheriff, who lost it for a second, then pounced right back on top of it, making sure that Marian didn't get a free play right there. So a goal kick from Sheriff. Cougars trying to get something on offense as we are now sitting at 10 seconds here in the first half. I believe this clock is just going to wind down. And that'll do it for the first half. Marian gets on the board first, and they maintain their 1-0 lead here in the first half as we head to halftime. Real quick look at the box score. Marian is now up to 12 shots, 6 of which have been on goal, so a pretty solid percentage. The Cougars, on the other hand, sitting at 4 shots, 3 shots on goal. Roth, what has been the key for Marian so far on offense that has resulted in their success?
The key is that they made some really good in-game adjustments. They finally started shooting from long distances, and I think in part of that is because I think the disadvantage that Sheriff has as a goalkeeper being, 5'2". We've seen her make a lot of tremendous saves, but on those long distance shots right there from the goal from Gordillo, right there, those shots are just a bit too high for her, and it's no fault of anyone's own. But that right now is what separates the difference between both teams. So the key then at halftime is which of these two coaches are going to be able to make the best adjustments for the upcoming 45 minutes.
It has been a pretty tightly contested matchup between the Cougars and Sabres. In case you missed it, like Roth mentioned, Emily Gordillo, the lone goal scored of the day for the Sabres. That's now her 5th goal of the season, which is a team high. As the Cougars look to get some offense going in the second half, we are at the halftime mark. We'll be back for the start of the final half, and you're listening to the Cougar Sports Network.
Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces, a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Hey, I'm Monica here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall. Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane. So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, and most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet. So it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennedy Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall. So the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there. Concordia Hall at Concordia University, Chicago.
The Cougar women's soccer team is supporting the Helinski's Hope on the field while Cougar fans are able to pick up Helinski's Hope bracelets, the CUC Mental Matters bracelets, and other various resources from today's event in support of mental health. Concordia University Chicago prioritizes the mental well-being of all students and student athletes and offers a multitude of resources both on campus and off. Students can head over to cuchicago.edu for more information on CUC's counseling services. So we are getting ready for the second half of today's conference matchup between Marian University and Concordia University Chicago. We saw Coach Garza really firing up his team at halftime, giving a really emphatic speech. Let's go ahead and take a look at our first half stats. Ralph, as we're looking at the box sheet, what really sticks out to you?
The one thing that really stood out in the first half was just Marian's ability to have consistent shots, throughout the first half. Because I remember at one point, this game was very tight and competitive between both of them in the shots category. Because at one point, Marian had 5 and the Cougars had 4. Since then, the last 7 shots taken in the first half was from the Sabres. And that right now has been the biggest difference in the box score to this point.
And we talked about this a little bit too, but Brooke Sheriff has been solid in goal in the games she's played for the Cougars this year. She gave up a goal midway through the first half. And coming into today, she hadn't allowed a single goal in 135 minutes of play. That streak is broken today, but however, despite being down 1, the Cougars are still very much in this.
They're still very much into this, but the key thing will be here, what kind of halftime adjustments did Coach Garza implement here for this second half? Because in the first 30 minutes of this game, they were doing a really good job, opening up the game, really good passing back and forth between their attackers. And then all of a sudden, in the last 15 minutes of the first half, it sort of all just stopped. The momentum they had was all completely gone. So looking for a spark of energy here in the next 45 minutes from them.
And we saw a plethora of substitutions made by Coach Garza in the first half. Obviously, we had the starters, then made about 7 or 8 substitutions in that half. Could we expect to see potentially the same thing in the second?
I would say so. I think it was surprising. We mentioned it at the first half how they may allow substitutions because usually they don't. But I think it speaks to the confidence that Coach Garza has today about his players and the way he's been seeing them perform on the pitch. So if I were Coach Garza, I'd continue to make substitutions.
So I believe Coach Garza is going to stick with his original 11 that played in the first half. Marian has not made their way back out onto the field quite yet as the second half underway. They're getting ready to start here in River Forest. We talked a little bit about where Marian stands in the conference. They're sitting at 5th. Meanwhile, the Cougars are sitting at dead last in the conference, sitting at 14th with a record of 2-8-1. They haven't looked like that team today. They've been pretty solid defensively, only giving up the 1 goal. But if you're really able to pick it up on offense and get the win today, it would be a big one.
I think the key here is that we want to see more of Denise Carr because she played 28 minutes in the first half, was really sort of the key contributor of those build-up attacks that the Cougars had. And when she got subbed off, things weren't clicking the same for this Cougars front 3. So expect her potentially to play a little bit more here in the second half until we'll be able to reinvigorate this front 3 of the Cougars.
As Marian is now back on the field, they are in possession. The Cougars break the huddle, and they're getting ready to start on defense as it looks like Marian will conduct the second half kickoff by number 4, Abby Larson. As on-field officials talking things under the whistle blows, and we are underway here in the second half. Marian starting out with the possession, trying to advance down the field. Another good defensive play from Glodowski. She made a couple of those in the first half. Denise Carr also got in on the mix. It's going to be sent back out to Barrios in goal. That's deflected and out of bounds. Believe the Cougars now going to go on offense as we are going to get a throw in from Valeria Fernandez. it will be a corner kick conducted by Wilkinson McQuaid. Seeing quite a few corner kicks from the Cougars as this is corner kick number 5. Wilkinson McQuaid, hand in the air. She sends the ball. Cougars not able to capitalize. Clear out right there from Bella Goodson. Cougars are going to stay on offense. We get the throw in. She tries to get it into Falone. Falone not able to corral it. Going to go back out of bounds. Another throw in from Glodowski. Now that's deflected off of a Sabre. As the Cougars trying to get something going offensively. Marian has a full head of steam just heading right down the middle of the field. Tries to get it over on the near side to Bailey Alvarado. That shot hits looks like the goal post of the field goal, which is sitting right above the crossbar of the goalie. I believe the shot was off of the right foot of Jacqueline Campos.
Seeing once more the post be the goalkeeper's best friend again, though, but Sabres continuing to have these really good shots, from distance.
And now got a goal kick from Sheriff, but that was last touched by Marian and out of bounds. However, Marian has no problems intercepting the pass. And that going to go off of, I believe it was last touched by Denise Carr. So it'll stay with Marian. Wilkinson McQuaid trying to get the pass. I believe that whistle was blown on her, so Marian will stay on offense. Glodowski trying to play tough defense. Working on the far sideline is Goodson. Wilkinson McQuaid draped all over. We get a header from Jalissa Diaz. Now Falone trying to take the ball right back. Stingy Cougar defense here early. As Wilkinson McQuaid's able to corral it, who gets it to Bowers, who just sends it out of bounds. She tried to get it to Valeria Fernandez. And now Schnell got it into Gordillo, who we saw scored the lone goal of the first half for the Sabres. Brown gets it over to Carr, who's racing down the far sideline, gets it to Fernandez. Last touched by the Sabres, and it goes out of bounds.
See, Fernandez usually a defender, but at times we'll see her, play more up front, play in that winger type of role and position, and we saw right there.
So, gonna get a throw in. Looks like from Glodowski. Whistles blow to resume play. Try to get it into Brown. And I believe it was last touched by Marian, so Cougars are going to go ahead and stay on offense. And now we'll get a corner kick from Megan Wilkinson McQuaid.
There's currently 8 players inside the box right here for the Cougars looking to get their head on it.
Trying to capitalize on an opportunity. Fernandez is going to track it down, who trying to get it to one of her teammates, just looking for an outlet. She finds Brown, who just sends that one up into the air. Trying to corral it is Fernandez, but the Sabres trying to get the stop. Brown was wedged in between two Marian defenders. And I believe we're going to get a throw in now from Jalissa Diaz, who targets Falone, who sends it right back to Fernandez. Trying to get that one into dangerous territory as Brown, it looks like, had 3 Sabres around her. So that will result in a goal kick from Barrios. And Ralph, what'd you see right there from Marian defensively?
They're doing a really good job overall here throughout the past, second half and then the last 15 minutes of the opening half. They did a really nice job just tightening up defensively, because early on they gave the Cougars a plethora of chances to, find the one goal they're missing so far. But ever since then, they did a really good job to not allow really good, clear opportunities for the Cougars. And so far, they're being rewarded with that with their 1-0 lead.
And we see that reflected in the box score as well. Only 5 shots from the Cougars in that totality of the first half. And now here in the first 7-ish minutes of the second, we get a couple whistles blown. Clock still running. However, as Marian going to stay on offense here in the final third. And a free kick be conducted right here by number 29, Isabella Sanchez. Now Marian an opportunity. Nice defense from the Cougars to not let the Sabres get anything off. And now a goal kick from Sheriff.
There's a tough angle right there for Alvarado trying to turn her body around to make the shot, and it just went wide a couple feet to the right.
Sheriff approaches, boots it with her right foot. Header from Falone. Now Brown trying to track it down, gets it over to Denise Carr, working that far side attack. Carr tries to get a shot off, but it just goes straight into the chest of Barrios. Now Barrios' her 4th save of the afternoon. So now working on the far side, near side, is Larson, who gets it to Bailey Alvarado. Now back to Larson. Tries to find Campos, but she's stuffed in between Kenworthy and Wilkinson McQuaid. So Campos not able to get her foot on the ball. Now we're going to get a corner kick from Marian and number 7, Ashley York. This is the first corner kick of the afternoon for the Sabres. We've seen 6 by the Cougars so far. First one of Marian, as CUC does a nice job of just clearing it out, forcing the Sabres to play from far out as well. And now Marian on the offensive attack. York gets it to Campos, who then tries to find Alvarado on the near upper corner. That is off the foot of Wilkinson McQuaid and out of bounds, so the Cougars get another stop.
We're starting to see Marian here revert back to what they were doing in the first half, which they didn't like, which was crossing the ball into the box. But now we're starting to see them get some opportunities off of those crosses right there, and that is a sign of concern if you're a Cougars fan, considering in the opening half they didn't have much success crossing the ball in.
And now a goal kick from Sheriff. We also get a substitution for CUC as well, as Lorena Jaimes enters the game for Jalissa Diaz. So Substitution comes at a little over 10 minutes here in the second half. Now the Sabres. Ashley York gets it to Alvarado. These two have seemed to be a good duo here in the early going of the second half. Trying to get it to Gordillo. And now Carr handles it on the far sideline, has some green grass in front of her. Dribbling right down the pitch. Tries to get it to Madeline Georgopoulos. And now Brown. We see the tough nature, almost plays like a linebacker. Just knocks over a Sabre in hopes of getting the ball.
Brown may only be 5'1", but the senior right there showing her toughness right there on the foul.
Plays real tough, that's for sure. As Aviana Grocia, that one just goes out of bounds. So throw in from the Cougars. That is in, but Sabres able to take it right back. So now we're going to get a couple more substitutions for the Cougars. In comes number 19, Luciana Moran-Cruz, who got a good amount of playing time in that first half, as well as number 21, Juliana Paulson, who also got a decent amount of playing time as well. So I believe as that one goes out of bounds towards the newly put up track banner here in Concordia Stadium, Marian's going to stay on offense. And we're going to get a corner kick from Gordillo. So 2 back-to-back corner kicks to add up to 3 total corners for the Sabres, all of which have come in the second half. And now goes right into the hands of Sheriff. She looks to kind of reverse the field. Tries to get it into Moran-Cruz, who's the closest Cougar in the area. Gets it over to Alvarado. Now Alvarado just misses her teammate Campos. As Sheriff comes out of goal, picks up the ball. Now the Cougars are going to get back to work on offense. Another goal kick from Sheriff.
So far here in the second half, if you look at the shots, Marian have 4, the Cougars only have 1. We're seeing a lot of what happened at the end of the first half translate here in the second half as well, for the Cougars unable to really start organic attacks.
Sheriff raises her left hand, approaches the ball, sends it into the midfield. Paulson tries to get it down. Now Fernandez tries to fight for the ball, as well as Moran-Cruz. That one is just sent out of bounds by Marian. Believe that was Ashley York. Now a throw in from Gladowski. That one's going to trickle out of bounds as well. So now Barrios is going to get another touch. He's going to send it short. Marian, a very patient offense we've seen. Not too flashy. Doesn't try to get going in a hurry. Very smart. Looks for the outlets. Looks for gaps within the Cougars' defense. very patient offensively and also played pretty well defensively.
They have on both sides of the ball. You mentioned obviously on their attacks, they've been playing a lot of quick, short passing right there, taking their time, looking for a good open space for a shot, and defensively as well. They've tied it up really well here in the half.
That one's just going to be sent out of bounds towards the Marian sideline. Throw in from Glodowski, tries to get it in. Marian Cruz. And now Sabres back on offense, trying to get down the field. Larson gets a touch. Now back to Alvarado, who's working over in the midfield logo. Now back outside, header right there from Falone. Paulson's able to handle it, sends it over to Glodowski. Right now the Cougars playing on the far sideline. Intercepted by the Sabres. Sabres going to go back on offense, trying to get it in to Gordillo. That's sent over across the field to Ashley York. York sends a deep pass over to her teammate Larson, who has Kenworthy playing defense on her. Kenworthy, the slide, tries to poke the ball out, and she does. So last touched by the junior of CUC. So now we're going to get a corner kick from Marian, and looks like Emily Gordillo will be the one to do the honors for Marian.
See right here, about 5 or 6 Sabre players right there, just at the edge of the box right here. They're going to try to sprint up forward for the header.
As that's off of the foot of, I believe that was, unable to tell from up here in the booth. Looks like it was number 8. It was number 9, Jacqueline Campos. Again, those numbers kind of hard to see from our viewpoint. Now a goal kick from Sheriff as we get a substitution made by Marian. As Taylor Pearl enters the match for Bailey Alvarado. And Larson sends that one across, and it just drifts past the left side of the goal.
Those are shot choices right there where you want to ideally, stop the ball before shooting it rather than shooting it immediately once you get the ball right there. Because you saw what happened with Larson. She hit the ball with the side of her foot, which, in result, the shot goes wide to the left.
So now taking a quick look at the box score, Marian's shot total now up to 18. 6 shots on goal. CUC still sitting in the single digits with 5 shots, 3 shots on goal. Get a throw in from Glodowski. That ball's going to go out of bounds. So Glodowski is going to go back to the track to get a throw in. Wilkinson McQuaid, a header. Trying to look for Brown. Paulson with the speed comes over from that back line trying to make a play. Knocks over a Sabre while she's at it. So Sabres going to go right back on offense. Free kick right here from Marian. That one's going to be sent short. And now sent across the field to Ashley York. Pass intercepted by Brown. Now Valeria Fernandez trying to get a handle on it, as well as Lucia Falone. Fernandez just dishes it right back out to Falone. Now Lorena Jaimes loses the ball. Marian streaking down the field. as that's number 27, Amanda Sincere. Brianna Gielig. Nice defensive play from Kenworthy, just poking that one out as it looked like Gielig was about to get a shot off. So now we're going to get another corner kick from Marian. All 4 corners for the Sabres have come within the second half. Now Gordillo, that one just rolls right into the hands of Sheriff. Didn't have to move a lot on that one.
Second time in a row that the Sabres, when having a corner, they did a different set piece there at that time. They're starting to have their players play at the edge of the box right here and trying to, get the ball, get a touch on it, and shoot it rather than just trying to jump for the ball instead.
And now Larson goes right down the middle third. That is off the crossbar. For a second, looked like Marian was going to get their second goal of the afternoon. Once again, the crossbar making a play. Huge sigh of relief from Sheriff. That shot, if it was only just a couple inches short, it'd be a 2-0 match. Header right there from Brown. Cougars get bailed out on defense. Hymas try to get in on the action, sends it over, looking for Gladowski. Marian, that shot just going to roll right into the hands once again of Sheriff.
Cougars so far have been lucky here in the second half. Twice they have been saved by the post, and this is starting to become more of a concern right here now as we further gone into this game. Marian is starting to take far more control.
So now that one's into Marian Cruz. Going to go out of bounds. On-field official raises the pink flag. So now we're going to get, looks like we're going to get 3 substitutions for the Cougars. We'll get you those here in a second. Looks like Denise Carr was one of the Cougars, as well as Jamie Siebert. A little bit confusion on the field as the Cougars just making sure they have the right lineup in. And that ball going to roll out of bounds. I believe it'll stay with the Cougars.
They had a lot of corners so far. This is their 7th one right here, and at some point, as we further go into the game with a little over 22 minutes remaining here, these are their best opportunities to capitalize and convert.
7 corners for the Cougars, 5 for the Sabres. This is the first corner kick of the second half for the Maroon and Gold. See if the Cougars can capitalize. Not able to get the header, but it's sent right back out to Wilkinson McQuaid, who's gotten a few touches. Denise Carr tries to get in on the action, but Marian going to come up with the save.
Carr was in good position right there. Just unfortunately mistimed the placement of her header right there, and it's another opportunity that just goes just a few inches wide for the Cougars, but they're starting to really reel in some momentum right here.
Trying to reel in all the momentum they can as they are still very much in this, only down 1 goal. And still a decent amount of time left in the second half as you have a little less than half the time remaining. Marian has moved down the field rather quickly, but nice header right there from Pamela Saldivar. It's going to be sent right back out. Again, Marian just showing their patience. That's taken away by Seibert, who tries to get it. Brown, who splits the Marian defenders, and just falls as it looks like the turf monster might have gotten her. So now we're going to get another corner kick from the Cougars.
That all started right there thanks to a great stop there defensively by Sieber right there, and a great counterattack to the pass to Brown. Just a few inches shy of her foot right there, but it's going to result here in a corner.
Now Wilkinson McQuaid to conduct another corner kick. Hand in the air, approaches the ball, sends it with her right foot. Cougars just not able to get any headers on their 8 corner kicks. Ralph, you got to think that was a golden opportunity missed for CUC.
Yeah, the only person who really was able to jump for the corner right there was Jaimes, number 33, and the ball just sailed a bit too high. And once again, it's another opportunity that just they haven't been able to take advantage of.
And now the Sabres back to work as Larson sends it into Campos. Sends it across the field now. Now back to Larson. Tries to get the pass off. Looking for Gielig. Gielig just not able to track it down. Well under 20 minutes here in the half, about 18:45 remaining in the second half. So still plenty of time left. Cougars need to generate some offense. They've had a couple opportunities within the final third, just not able to capitalize.
And you mentioned the point right there, though, because majority of this opening second half, they weren't able to really create anything. Now, as of playing these past 5 to 10 minutes, they sort of gained momentum back that they had in the early going in the first half, and that has since allowed them to, get a couple of chances on goal, create a couple of corners, and so far, they've been able to really start getting some good chances going right here.
We haven't mentioned this yet, but the little history lesson for you. All-time record between the Cougars and Marian. The Cougars have a record of 4-11-2. As that shot right over the net, right over the outstretched arms again of Sheriff, hits that upper left corner of the net, and Marian builds upon their 1-0 lead. They now are up 2 goals here in the second half. As we take a look at the replay right here, we see Marian working with it. Just goes right over the outstretched arms. Brooke Sheriff straight up and down, just hits inside that upper left corner of the goal. They're going to award the goal to Brianna Gielig, give the assist to Taylor Pearl and Abby Larson.
That's the second goal today for the Sabres that we've seen from a long distance right there. And once more, they've taken advantage of the lack of height that Sheriff has, only at a frame of 5'2". And that has been the biggest difference so far between both squads.
And now that is Brianna Gielig's first goal of the season. And it comes at a very opportune time for the Sabres as they now lead the Cougars 2-0 here inside Cougar Stadium. Cougars need some offense, and they need it now as Marian Cruz tries to get it to Seibert. Seibert, one of the faster players on this team, also runs track and field in the spring, so a dual sport athlete. Is the senior out of Arlington Heights, Illinois.
Now 15 minutes left for the Cougars. Now they cannot waste any remaining opportunities they will have in today's game.
But back to what I was saying, the all-time record between CUC and Marian, the Cougars have a record of 4-11-2, all-time home record of 3-4-2. Their last matchup came about a year ago today as they played on October 8th, 2022. They tied that one 1-1. Things are not shaping up to be the best in this current game as the Cougars find themselves down 2 goals. Offense has been hard to come by. It seems like Marian's really putting their foot on the gas pedal as Gordillo gets it over to Campos, now to Larson. She tries to find Gielig, who just got the latest goal for the Sabres. Not able to get it to her as it goes out of bounds. I believe CUC will go on offense. We get a substitution. Into the game comes Valeria Fernandez. She'll go ahead and check out Lorena Jaimes. So Eddie Garza making another substitution. Now Marian Cruz trying to track it down, but it's handled by Gordillo, who shows off the footwork right there. That shot just goes right past the goal on the left side. Now Sheriff making sure her offense is set up. We're under 15 minutes to go. She takes a couple of steps back. Now set up for the goal kick. Allie Brown also checks back in for the Cougars, the senior captain. She was substituted out for a quick breather. Wasn't out very long. Also get some substitutions for Marian as Isabella Goodson enters the match in place of Jacqueline Campos. Bailey Alvarado comes in for Sarah Day, and Sophie Huron coming in for Taylor Pearl. We'll get a throw in from Fernandez.
Just a few moments ago, we saw Fernandez pass at the car right there. She had a little collision right there with the netminder in Barrios, and just a near close effort right there. Once more, Cougars just fall on the short end of the stick.
The Cougars have not had the best luck here in this game so far, as we're going to get another corner kick from Megan Wilkinson McQuaid. This is an opportunity that the Cougars have to capitalize on. As time winding down, they've had more corner kicks than the other team, just haven't been able to capitalize. She tries to get it to Carr. And that's going to go out of bounds, but another corner kick from Wilkinson McQuaid.
This will be corner number 10.
We'll see how it plays out as Carr tries to get the header, bounces around, and the Cougars are going to get on the board. Their 10th corner kick ends up in the first goal of the day for the Cougars.
We were wondering time and time again throughout this one, when were they going to finally be able to score from a corner? They finally did so right there, but there is no time to celebrate, though. They quickly run back up to the pitch, put the ball in the center circle right there to get going again with under a little over 12 minutes remaining.
Credit Hannah Bowers with the goal. She pings that top right corner of the net to get the Cougars on the board. They trail Marian 2-1.
And now this Marian team, they were dominating throughout the nearly opening 80 minutes of this game, but now they're only up by 1 right here. Do they feel the sense of pressure right here upcoming from the Cougars?
Now the Cougars with some momentum. Let's see how they play late into the game. Hannah Bowers with the much-needed offense gets her first goal of her senior campaign. And it comes at a much-needed time. Time of goal, 77-41.
It's Bowers' first goal since last year, the 28th of September last year against Lakeland, a 5-0 victory. So great for her to get her first goal of the season, as you mentioned, Parker.
The senior out of Helena, Montana comes up huge. Now the Cougars need to get a stop right here. Nice play by Denise Carr. Really shows off the speed to get to it right before it goes out of bounds. Now gets it over to Valeria Fernandez. That Cougars bench is up on their feet. And they're excited as the Cougars have a lot of momentum at this stage in the game. Now Wilkinson McQuaid in the midfield tries to send it over to, looked like it was going to Glodowski. And now Glodowski sends that one into no man's land. The goalie Barrios going to let the ball roll into her hands. Now she's going to allow the Sabres to get set up offensively as we're approaching the 10-minute mark here in the second half. Now Seibert working with it on the far sideline. Ends up right back in the possession of Marian. Now Denise Carr comes up big, shows off the speed as she splits two Sabre defenders. Looks like she had a one-on-one opportunity. That's going to be won by Marian as it was poked out at just the right time. Glodowski comes back. Cougars now in the final third. Seibert's going to take a tumble trying to get the ball. She's back up on her feet. And it looks like we have a Marian player down. Looks like she might have got tangled up with Seibert while they were both going for the ball. Not able to make out who the player is. As some trainers come over to attend to her. We'll take a quick break in the action. You're listening to the Cougar Sports Network.
Cougar Nation, we love the support you give us on and off the field. To donate to our Athletic Communications Department, hit the thank you button below.
This helps us continue to have the best live stream possible for some great Cougar soccer moments. Thank you and enjoy the game. We appreciate you tuning into today's game. To stay up to date on all things CUC women's soccer, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUCWSOC.
We'll see you on campus soon.
as we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Still not able to tell who the Marian player was that was down. She is helped off the field by a couple of the CUC athletic trainers. Good to see that she's able to walk off the field under her own power. She heads over to the Marian sideline. I believe it was, we got word up here in the booth that the injured Sabre was Trinity Grimes. So into the match for her comes Caitlin Traver. Traver, a sophomore out of Plainfield, Illinois.
The stoppage comes at a very interesting time with 9:16 remaining. We were just talking shortly, on the other side, how like the Cougars, they have so much momentum and they had so much energy, that we hadn't seen throughout the majority of the game. But there's only so much time where they can take advantage of the energy and momentum they have, and now having a little break in between sort of helping calm them down and focus once more.
But now Marian trying to be a little patient, kind of take away some of that clock. Cougars trying to get some momentum, and they certainly do. As that shot just misses the net, we see the CUC Cougar football team standing over on the far sideline, cheering on the women's soccer team. You got to love to see that scene, Roth.
Oh, it's great right there from here to see them supporting.
And a goal or a corner kick from Wilkinson McQuaid, an opportunity for the Cougars squandered. So now Marian we're going to get a free kick from the Sabres. This football team starts the Ole chants. A lot of energy here in Concordia Stadium as approach the 8-minute mark. See football teams on both sidelines cheering on the women's soccer team. Got a couple whistles blown. And we're going to get a throw in from Wilkinson McQuaid. Tries to get it in. Closest Cougars in the area were Brown and Fernandez. That opportunity is not capitalized upon, as we're going to get a goal kick from Barrios. I'm sorry, not Barrios, as one of the backline defensive players came in to get the free kick. Now that one is kicked out of bounds. Marian's going to stay on offense. Cougars defense really applying the pressure as time is precious here in the second half.
And you're starting to see them apply a lot more pressure now offensively as well. You're starting to see them have like 5 or 6 players, try to press up forward and try to take the ball away quickly.
And now Alvarado tries to send that one across the field, and she does. It goes out of bounds. So the Cougars, another crack on offense for them as they try to even things up here on their home turf. Now Marian. That shot deflected off the right leg of Kenworthy. Sheriff with the save. She deflects it, and it goes out of bounds.
That'll be the 8th save for her on the afternoon, and it comes at a critical time here with under 6 minutes remaining.
Very critical time. As time still winding down, under 6 minutes. We're going to get a corner kick from Gordillo. Now Brown tries to get that one away. It's cleared out by Paulson.
Gonna be a free kick right here for Marian after the foul.
Now a foul. I believe that was called on Paulson. She knocked over one of the Marian players, so we're going to get a free kick awarded to Isabella Sanchez.
If you're Marian, you are in no rush right here to take this free kick, and let time slowly pass on by.
No rush as we're now under 5 minutes to play here in regulation. And it's going to go right over the net. Cougars catch another break on defense. Now a goal kick from Sheriff. It's go time. Now she's going to let Wilkinson McQuaid do the honors. So now a free kick for Wilkinson McQuaid. She sends it deep. Tries to get it to Paulson. I believe it was last touched off of her, so Marian going to go back on offense. If you're Cougars, you really need to flip the side of the pitch. Get things going into the opposite final third. Now Braylee Navis. Alvarado. Nice defense right there from the Cougars. Trying to get a stop. Clear out from Wilkinson McQuaid. And now Valeria Fernandez fighting for the ball. She tries to take it away from Alvarado, and she does. Gets it back out to McQuaid, who then sends one looking for Denise Carr, handled by Marian. And now back in the feet of Carr. Carr streaking down the field, trying to split the Marian defenders. Now Pamela Saldivar gets it over to Falone. Falone on the far side. Working with it. Has it poked out by Gordillo.
You can just feel the intensity right now here at the stadium.
It is intense for sure, as the Cougars with a potential opportunity. Couple whistles blown. Looks like it'll be a foul on the Cougars. So that means Marian goes back on offense. They'll have possession. Goal kick from Jasmine Barrios. Header from Fernandez. Another header from Wilkinson McQuaid, who tries to get it to Brown. Brown just has two Sabres. She's still fighting for it against Larson. 2 minutes left in the half. Taken away by Marian Cruz. She is tripped up, looking for a foul. The ref's going to stay silent.
To the dismay of the football team right there. They want a penalty right there, and the ref did not call it. And here we go, another corner kick right here.
Corner kick from the Cougars, and Wilkinson McQuaid backs up to the track. She sends it. Cougars with an opportunity. Fernandez tries to find Paulson, who tries to get the shot off. It's deflected by Marian. And that one's just going to be cleared out by the Sabres. As we approach the 1 minute mark, Cougars just have to get a shot off. That Sabres defense playing really tough. Wilkinson McQuaid sends a high one. That has a chance. Saved by Barrios.
Great composure right there from Barrios. Carr was trying to cut it in right there. And the goalkeeper will calm and compose as she is right there. Hold on to it.
That was a very intense situation as Barrios, you hear the chants of the football team, able to keep her composure and record the save. Brown fighting for it. 15 seconds left. Cougars trying to get one final heave, and you don't really have a choice. Falone. And now Saldivar, and is that going to count? Not sure, as Brown kicked it and it hit inside that bottom left part of the goal. Concordia Stadium in a frenzy. On-field referees talking things over to find out if that goal is going to count or not. Looks like they're going to waive the goal, saying it. We'll take a look at the instant replay. Looks like it might have hit off of Brown's foot as the buzzer hit 0. Here's a look at the instant replay. We see Brown working with it. Yep. Looks like they're going to waive this one. And Eddie Garza not happy about that one.
Yeah, it looked like about 1 second too late right there for Brown. And this is just a tough way for the Cougars to end this one, considering just the last 10 minutes of this game, how well they were performing.
Yeah, Eddie Garza definitely not happy about the call. Neither is Allie Brown, I imagine. For a second, I thought that one was going to end in a tie, but ultimately the Cougars fall to Marian in a last second thriller, 2-1. And with that, the Cougars fall to 2-9-1 on the season. The Sabres improved to 6-3-3 overall. And Rolf, let's go ahead and take a look at the box score. Despite the shot selection, Sabres had 10 shots on goal. Cougars had 10 shots, 5 shots on goal. The Cougars still were able to make things interesting late.
They did, and particularly in those last 15 minutes when they got their first goal of the game off the header from Hannah Bowers right there. And then also, you got the vibe and the energy going thanks to the football team. It really revitalized this Cougars team who, in the opening part of the second half, were kind of, unenergized. But ever since the introduction of the football team coming onto the, to the sidelines, it helped brought the energy back up. And we saw at the end they almost were able to come back down from 2 to tie it almost.
Is one of the greatest things about college athletics is home field advantage, and we see just the difference it makes when the football team came out there and cheering on the women's soccer team. Let's go ahead and take a quick look one more time at the box score. So the lone goal of the day for the Cougars coming off the Hannah Bowers header, and for the Sabres, 2 of their players got in on the action. Brianna Guley got her first goal of the season, as well as Emily Gordillo, as they defeat the Cougars 2-1 once again. Let's go ahead and take a quick look ahead for both teams. The Sabres are going to be back at home on Saturday as they take on Dominican University. Dominican looking like a real tough opponent at this stage in the season. And for the Cougars, they'll be back in action on Saturday as they travel to Milwaukee School of Engineering for a matchup with the Raiders. Real quick, want to give a shout out to our production staff that was able to make this game possible. Working the camera was Sydney Lloyd, our producer Emily Balaban. Down on the scores table was Leela Scott. And also working the camera, Amaya Martin. We are under the direction of Sydney Pulaskis Laher and our sports information director, Kayla McLeod. And don't forget, Cougar fans, you can continue to support Student Athlete Mental Health Week and the Helinski's Hope Foundation at the women's volleyball game tomorrow night at 7 p.m. as the Cougars take on Edgewood College, and again for the football game on Saturday at 1 p.m. against Aurora. We look forward to seeing a sea of green in the stands in support of mental health. But as for me and my partner, Rafael Gonzalez, signing off the Cougar Sports Network, wanting to say, as always, go Cougars!
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.